everybody, it's Christy Bella. Thanks for tuning in to Leap to Solutions. So as you can see, I am not in a practice setting today. I am actually out doing my second love, which is driving my Mini Cooper around some twisty roads, listening to some awesome music, and just getting motivated and inspired. Does that sound like something you like to do? I totally do. So, what I wanted to talk about today is very personal to me, and it's a video that I'm doing because I want to raise awareness. When we were going through the onset of the pandemic and through that year, because it's been 1 year now, it was chaos and crisis. And while I seemed to rise to my highest potential during that time, because that is my strongest skill set, is to be able to see where we are, know where we're going, and fix all the things that aren't working in between. And I was, running through that time period on adrenaline, just pure adrenaline, and hyper focused on the job at hand. So I was doing my regular and normal job. I was helping clients. And then I was having all these added things like getting the PPP loans and the SBA loans and the EDIL and looking for PPE and all these additional things that I was navigating through. And as I got to the end of that year, I started feeling really cranky, tired, overwhelmed. I was dragging myself up in the mornings, trying to get to work. And then when I get to work, I just didn't want to deal with any problems. Little mistakes were ginormous, and I would feel myself getting irritated with my coworkers, which was just that's not who I am. And I was trying to figure out what was going on with me. And I didn't like the leader that I had become. I didn't recognize her. I didn't like her. And then I started questioning if, I was a right fit for moving forward as a leader in a dental practice, as a consultant. I was just kind of questioning all of that because I didn't know what was going on with me. So I sat down one night and I had a conversation with my friend Google. And I'm sure that all of you know him very well. He just seems to have all of our answers. Anything that we're looking for, he has an answer for. So I started, having some intimate conversations with him, talking about what I was going through. And then I'd have an answer, like he always does. He has an answer for us. And I came across this one that he gave me, which was an article from the Mayo Clinic, and it was talking about job burnout and exhaustion. And it had some identifying questions there to kind of help you see if maybe if you fit in that box. And so as I was reading those questions, I was finding myself saying, yes, 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 maybe, yes, definitely, and I kept reading and reading. I'm like, this cannot be happening. This has never happened to me. Never. In the 35 years I've been in dentistry, and I have been through the onset of HIV. I've been through 9/11. I've been through the 2008 fallout. I've never felt this way. This cannot be it. But as I got to reading a little bit further, I was like, I'm starting to think maybe this is what's happening to me. And then I came across another article, which just blew my mind. It said that job burnout and exhaustion had risen 33% by October of 2020. And that healthcare workers were the biggest contributor to that spike. That just tells you how much we had been dealing with in that year. And then it went on to say, in addition to that employers across the United States, it's attributing the burnout and exhaustion is attributing to $190 billion in healthcare costs related to burnout and exhaustion, which was staggering. So it's like it's a multi-level crisis here that we're dealing with. We're dealing with someone that's actually having this. We are dealing with a spike overall, and we're dealing with cost related to this. And as I read that, I selfishly felt some type of comfort in knowing that I wasn't alone, that there were other people that were feeling and dealing with what I was dealing with. And somehow, oddly, Google, he made me feel comforted at a time when I needed it. So what I discovered was during that whole time frame, I'd taken care of everybody else. I'd taken care of work, my docs, my clients, consulted with my friends, my husband, my family. But I had missed the one person that needed me to take care of them, and that was me. My mental, emotional, and physical well-being was on the back burner. And unfortunately, when I got to the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021, my tanks, mentally, emotionally, physically, all those tanks were depleted. There was nothing left. I didn't have anything to give. Everything that I had been given out. And now I had to figure out, how am I going to reset me? Because I can't keep going down this road, because by the end of December and the 1st of January, it had manifested into some health issues that I was having to deal with, all because I had gotten so run down. And then I got to thinking, as I talked with my doctors, as I was going to appointments, and they were telling me that, a lot of the people that they were treating now are from burnout and exhaustion related situations. And that was staggering to me, that's where we're at right now. That's what we're dealing with. And the reason I'm talking about this and being vulnerable about it is because I felt shame that I had gotten to this point as a leader. I felt shame that I had lost my edge. I felt shame in that I'm not supposed to talk about this because it's a taboo talk. You just don't do that. You talk about it with Google, but you don't talk about it with anybody else. And I thought, this is ridiculous, because if I am experiencing this, then other people in my industry have to be experiencing it also. And then I got to thinking, as business owners and doctors and leaders and managers in our practice, are we seeing a shift in our employees that are peak performers, and now suddenly they don't have that edge? They don't seem to have that drive. There's a noticeable change in them. And we're starting to get frustrated because we're like, where's our star employees? Well, what's happening to them? And I got to thinking, is it possible that they are experiencing a burnout or exhaustion related to everything that we've navigated through in our workplace? It's very probable that is occurring, because not only have they possibly been furloughed and rehired, they're still dealing with the pandemic situation and all the things that go on still in our workplaces and at home. They've dealt with, financial shocks to their normal day-to-day life. They've had a lot that they're dealing with, and they're trying to just, compartmentalize this, and they have a lot of uncertainty because, let's face it, nothing is certain right now. Everything is still a little bit volatile, and we don't know where we're going to be at in the next couple of months. So they're still a little gun shy. They're still, feeling like, oh my gosh, is another furlough around the corner? I don't know what's happening with my spouse's job. I don't know how I'm going to handle all of these financial crisis that I have, taking care of my kids, homeschooling my kids, it's so much. It's just so much. And never in before, during this career time, have I ever had where therapists, psychiatrists, all of those have been calling or email and trying to set up lectures, Zoom opportunities, because they are reaching out to people in dentistry and other various healthcare related professions, and they're trying to provide an avenue for these teams to be able to talk about what is going on with them. And I think that's amazing. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is try to step back and look at your practice and see if you have some employees that, you've seen a shift in. And let's try to figure out how we can talk about what we went through last year and how we are now and how we're going to move forward. Let's open that conversation up a little bit. I'm not saying become the therapist in your practice. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that I think that it's time that we hear how they're feeling. Let's talk about it. Let's not make this a taboo discussion, because we're all in it to varying degrees. And the one thing that we don't want is our employees not to feel that we don't understand them and that we don't appreciate them, because we do. We understand what they're going through because we've dealt with it ourselves on a different level. And we do appreciate the fact that they have shown up and they've stepped forward and they've helped push your practices forward. So I think we just need a check-in just to make sure that they've still got their MEP in their step, and, help them in any way that we can. And that's really all that I wanted to talk about today, is just being mindful of where your employees are at this particular time frame. So I hope that helps anybody that's listening to that. And you're probably asking me, do I have my MEP and my step back? Oh, holla. Yes, I do. I did what I needed to do as far as rest and doing a reset, eating more healthy, and just rekindling my passion about this industry that I absolutely love. So anyway, that's all I got to say today. See ya!